Hi guys, my name's Jen from Tammy, like-minded bitches, you know all the drill. And today we're here. I'm here in San Francisco, and Kim's in Sydney. Sydney, awesome. And who the hell are you?
Who the hell am I? That's a good question. I ask myself that sometimes.
In the mirror, who are you?
Who are you?
In the water, Lion King style, you know?
Yeah, totally. Hello, everyone. So yes, I'm Kim, and I am in Sydney, Australia. My background is all over the place, really. I was sort of on the fitness side, stuck into ski boots before I could walk, being from Canada, and did the ski mountains and the gym junkie in university and the CrossFit and the spin and the PT up until present day on the side. It's just what I live and breathe in my hobby time. And career-wise, I was in finance in Canada, and then moving to Australia 6 years ago, I found myself at Twitter, and then most recently at Telstra on a big data team, and now I'm working full-time for Buddee.Fitness.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then how did you come up with the idea to then, where it is today? How did you do those first tests to really figure out if this is what you want to do?
Yeah, good question. Well, Buddee.Fitness is pretty much very simply a tool or platform that matches people with fitness professionals on demand. And that sort of aha moment came when I normally took clients myself at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. before I went to work, my 9-to-5 office job. And I remember at 5:55, I was standing in the park. I had lugged all my weights to the park. My dog was running around, and my client did the good old, I slept in, I'm not going to make it text, which happens a lot. And it was 5:55, and I kind of thought, it's a shame. I'm here. I've got all my gear. Surely there's someone in suburbia around me who, slept in, missed their yoga class, and could skedaddle down in 15 minutes and train. And then I started asking around everyone I knew in the industry, full-time PTs, yoga, Pilates, everyone kind of going, how do you find clients? How do you keep them? What happens when they cancel on you? What happens when people go away for 4 or 5 weeks over the holiday season? And there seem to be consistent pain points going, it's hard to find new clients. It's hard to market to them. It's hard to train the ones you do have and focus on the business admin stuff. Especially the pain point that I found was sort of sad was the more you got into your career and the older you got towards your 30s and 40s and wanted to start a family, that's when the struggle hits, where you don't want to work at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. because that's when you want to spend time with your family. How do you find those clients in the daytime hours who are looking for trainers, but there seemed to be a disconnect? So thus Buddee.Fitness, the connector.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then from going, okay, this is obviously you're living and breathing the model yourself. What were the first things you did to try and get those first clients on? Was it a blog? Did you build a website, app? How'd you approach that?
Yeah. So my co-founder and I put up this ridiculous sort of pilot website in a day, very, very simple, with Google Forms. And we just said, hey, if you're in Bondi, which is where I'm from and kind of where my network was, if you're a trainer and you want to find clients, fill in your details. And then we had one for clients as well, going, if you're in the area and you are struggling to find a fitness professional, get in touch and we'll match you. No strings attached. I literally was sitting there with my Google Forms on my phone, calling people, asking what kind of training they wanted to do, and then calling the trainers. Within 3 weeks, we had over 50 fitness professionals sign up across all different disciplines. We had the martial arts and the yoga. And the people were really interesting to talk to. And we literally talked to over 25 people, understanding their pain points. And we kind of jotted them all down and saw the similarities, and some couldn't find. Sorry, I got a motorbike leaving. So the pain points that we thought were there were really justified by those first users. And some of those ones are actually the first ones on our app, which is really exciting.
And then obviously the very smart matching algorithm that you have working between, which is you, which is where a lot of marketplaces start, right? It's a manual process.
Oh, totally. But it's hands-on. It's great.
Oh, exactly. And you see a lot of businesses in general, startups in general, I guess, that waste too much money on that first MVP rather than doing lots of manual work. And, now that you've been through it, what's your view on that?
Yeah, it's definitely very manual, I'd say, which isn't a bad thing. We made that mistake only for a couple of weeks, where we started to go down the rabbit hole of how can we automate everything.
Yeah.
And, after about a week of research, I realized, wow, that's a week where we haven't really been productive and we don't have the numbers to automate yet. So let's just do the down and dirty. Even some of our stuff right now is fairly manual, but that's the best part, is you learn and you get to connect with those people. And I'm a PT. I live to connect with people. So I love it. If anything, I'd be like, don't automate. I still want to talk to people. But yeah, definitely the down and dirty, Google form, even walk around talking to people. Don't invest in anything too high tech until you get the solution sorted.
The process, right?
Mm.
Yeah, of course. And then those first users, and trying to then take it to that next level of an automated platform, et cetera, where you're at with that, and kind of what are the decisions you've made around that?
Yeah, so right now we've got our beta apps live in the App Store right now. We set those out in September, and that whole you always hit go before you're ready mantra. That's what we did. We all kind of shivered and went live.
Run.
Yeah, we got just under 30 fitness professionals on the platform at the moment, and they're all really high quality fitness professionals, which I kind of thought whoever we get on will be fantastic. But the ones who are on board, just years of experience and super keen to help.
That's great.
They all want to give feedback and have ideas on how to make it a community feel, which is fantastic. So we've logged all this feedback. We've also had just under 100 downloads on the client side, where we've spoken with them as well. And we're at the stage where we've got sort of our skeleton app, shall I say, in the App Store. And we're going through all of this feedback and reading between the lines and really understand sort of the viral features that people want. And a lot of it is around, it's probably no surprise, but they want to share it and refer it and kind of, boast about it. So how can we best automate that process, the sharing and the network effect through Buddee.Fitness? So that's kind of where we're at, designing all of that. And thank God my co-founder, her expertise is UX and product design. So
that's awesome. And how do you go about finding a co-founder? Because it is marriage.
It is marriage, 100%. I call her first thing in the morning before I even hit snooze, I think. So I was actually really fortunate. I started off as a sole co-founder, or sole founder, I guess, for the first couple months, where I literally just had this 50-page, really bad business plan, running around talking to everyone I could, going, this is my idea. How do I get it built? How do I get the funding to get it built? Where do I start? Because I don't have a technical background. And literally through networking, which I can't express enough, is so important to do. And I don't like calling it networking. Just talk to people. Yeah. Make friends with people. Yeah. That's all it is. Networking has this daunting sort of meaning around it. Just
business cards and suits.
Yeah.
Approach, right?
Yeah. And I literally was telling a coworker when I was at Twitter at the time about my project, just to see what she thought. And she was the one who connected me with my co-founder. She said, I know a really amazing UX designer. She has her own studio. You should just talk to her. And so I did. I just talked to her, and she loved the idea, and she understood it from a different perspective from me, which was really valuable. As I'm the trainer, rah, everyone needs to train. And she came from a client perspective where she wasn't really into fitness. She has 3 kids. She knows she needs to get more active, doesn't know where to start, and saw the value in it. So that's kind of how I got my co-founder. We had all the hard conversations at the beginning, which is something I think a lot of co-founders don't do. They just, they get along and they're so keen to hit the ground running. They miss those conversations. And my co-founder and I kind of said, let's have a chat. Let's talk about all the hard things. If we have a fight, if we disagree, if I, knock on wood,
crazy tomorrow, and what does separation look like?
Exactly. If I disappear off the planet, how do we make sure that you have access to everything I have access to? So those are sort of key things you want to talk about first, I'd say. It also has helped with investor conversations. Now we're about to enter a seed raise in the new year. And those are the questions they get. What happens if you and your co-founder don't get along? And we've got all the answers, and they're in our shareholders agreement, and we know them. So, yeah.
Well, you hope you do.
Yeah. And I'll throw in that we do have a third co-founder as well. We brought in our CTO about a year in, who is absolutely amazing, but he's done all the build, and he's absolutely amazing as well. And a swing dancer, so he likes to move. Yeah.
That's great. And so, I mean, from raising this seed round, how have you approached this?
Oh, there's that word, networking again. I've been going to a lot of events and just speaking to people.
Fancy events.
Fancy events and less fancy events. Again, being a trainer, I tend to drag people out for a run on the beach, which lets me talk most of the time.
Yes, instead of
yeah, exactly. It's been interesting just going to a lot of meetings, talking to people again, a lot of research, a lot of research at crunchbase.com and those sort of websites to understand not just any VC firm or any angel, but people who really understand marketplaces, who understand health and fitness, who understand mental health. That's a big component of what we're doing as well in our long-term plans. And ones who have a risk appetite of, you do fall in the trap of people who are interested, but all they do is ask questions and give you work to answer back, but they haven't invested, they haven't connected you with anyone. I'm sure they don't mean to, but you kind of need to learn, I guess, to filter that out and know that your time is very valuable on the product, and to know the key ones who actually might be interested in this next round, and keeping them up to date with your monthly reports and just checking in now and then. Again, it's just building relationships.
Yeah, definitely. Your culture is quite unique because you are the rah-rah trainer, and you've got the other side. It's a unique blend of people, personalities, backgrounds, experiences, etc., which is your special sauce at the end of the day, right? The magic behind the scenes. How do you create your culture? How do you view that you guys are going to emulate this to your next hires who aren't co-founders? How do you approach all this?
That's a very good question.
That's the $1 billion question.
I know. And I guess I kind of see my job as making sure that my other two co-founders have all the tools they need to do what they do best. I don't have a tech background, like I said, so I'm forever grateful to my CTO, who's a co-founder, and product design. I can only go so far in Keynote, and then it looks like the dog's breakfast. So she pulls in that branch of it. We are a remote team. We're all in Sydney. But just with schedules and lifestyles, we're all over 30 as well. So we do a weekly check-in call every week. We always try and put FaceTime in at least once a week, even if it's on FaceTime on your phone. And little check-ins whenever we have a second. We've got Slack. I'll try and check in and go, how are you? I include their spouses as well. I see their spouses as part of our team. People might have different opinions, but our teams support each other, and I think their spouses support them, and it's all part of the ecosystem. I mean, if you don't have people around you who understand that you're going to be on your laptop at 11 o'clock at night before bed, having that support is just so expensive. It's not expensive. It's important.
Critical.
Critical. So kind of treating it like a family.
That's all, especially at this young age in the infancy of the business. It's really important to get this right. So that's great. What are some of the challenges then you've had, whether it's from team, culture, tech, marketing? I don't know. What are your biggest challenges?
All of it. I think our biggest challenge is going to be getting the word out there. We're relatively new. And we don't have the brand awareness yet. I don't think it's not going to be a showstopper, but that'll just be the challenge, is getting people to trust. And I think the way the market is going, especially in Australia, the US is a little more advanced with at-home services, bringing people to your home. Australia is getting there. You've got sort of flexible studio classes now with ClassPass and Mind Body. So it's sort of getting people comfortable with that behavior shift of someone can actually come to your home and you can do yoga in your backyard, and it will actually take 45 minutes instead of the 2 hours to get there, come home, shower, get ready again. So that'll be a challenge, but a good challenge. We got a lot of fun sort of marketing plans and stories we're going to try and tell and get people involved to kind of break down that barrier. But I think that's the biggest challenge. Everything else is just normal operations challenges that everyone faces, that, you know, it's just life of having a startup.
Definitely. And as your role as a leader, how do you ensure that you're continually developing to stay ahead of the curve of what your team actually needs?
I'm reading a lot. I subscribe to probably more than I should, just articles and news sources, and not just tech related. You want to get in the heads of, we've got two sides of our marketplace, right? So I need to keep on top of what's happening in the fitness industry. I also need to keep track of who our users are and what they're doing. So, you know, if they're stay-at-home parents, maybe moms and dads groups, if they're travelers, you know, follow and see what the trends are with Kappa and airlines. And then also Fitness Australia, what are they doing? What's the market doing in the US? Just research. And then also technologies. I think I've mentioned it 3 times now, I'm not a tech background. So I don't want to frustrate my team with answering really dumb questions or asking really dumb questions. So I'll try my best to research stuff. So if they suggest we use a new platform, I'll go research and go, oh, what is Mixpanel? I really need to understand everything about it and why they want to use it so I can support their decision, and we can just move quickly and go, yep, let's buy it. I'll put it in, create everyone accounts, and they go off and running and can do their job. So I think that's it. Just keeping on top of both industries on both sides of the marketplace and educating yourself around your weaknesses to a point. You don't need to master it. That's why you have co-founders.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And that balance is really important, because your skill sets are completely different and have a purpose versus their skill sets, which again, with that, what are sort of some of the books, like the ones that have had a massive impact in the decisions you've made in the infancy of the business?
Some of the books?
Yeah, or even podcasts, or, you know.
Yep. I have actually podcasts. I wish I had time for podcasts. I've been doing Audible.
Yeah.
They summarize a book in, you know, minutes, and you can read it in 2 times speed. Don't suggest that. Don't understand what they're saying, but oh gosh, what are them? The Lean Startup is a good one. Good to Great.
Yeah.
I've read. There was another really good one. Oh gosh, what is it? It's by ex-sniper in the US. It had a different approach, but I like reading ones that have different approaches to leadership, that are short, not too long.
Yes.
My theory is if it's a 600 or 700 page book, that's the editor trying to make it really worth the value they're selling it for. I think really books have key points, and if you can get those out and run, which Audible does really well.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then with, I guess, the next steps of the business, you know, you've got the beta out. What are the sort of metrics as a 2-sided marketplace that you're really focusing on to really understand what's working in your business? What are the levers to really pull to drive that 2-sided marketplace growth?
Yeah, it's a balance. We never had the chicken or egg question, though, which I think a lot of marketplaces struggle with. My theory was you never open a shop with no inventory on the shelves. So we've spent a lot of time getting our key supply side there. So our trainers, making sure that their profiles are at a certain standard, that we are able to show the value they can offer and experience they can offer to their clients. So that's our number one in building that up first. And then we release it to the clients. And then the metrics we want to measure are the sessions booked at the end of the day. And those are the ones that we've plugged into our financial forecast to make sure, you know, in 2 years' time, we've got this many sessions happening per month, and we've got this much supply available to do that. The client count is important, but it'll be really interesting to know our numbers in 2 years and watch if we're hitting the monthly numbers we need, whether it's we just have an influx of new clients every month, or do we have a smaller base of clients that are doing repeat bookings? You know, those are 2 scenarios, and you kind of have to put 2 or 3 scenarios into your model and then just see which ones start picking up.
And assume a portion from each as well, because you will always have that base plus newbies coming through on top, right?
Exactly.
And I guess, are you starting to look at your cost to acquire a customer, your lifetime values, although it's only a few months, and churn rates and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's usually at the beginning, you've got some statistics and some numbers you're putting it against, but it's a little bit finger in the air. So we just keep sort of a tight ship. Numbers are my baby. I love Excel. So you just check in sort of every day, every week, going, okay, what's it look like? Where are the numbers moving? And then once we get our launch out of the way in the new year and we get some more substantial numbers, we'll really be able to test our hypothesis and do a little bit of a retro to see what worked, what didn't work, if we need to iterate. Yeah, that's just the cycle. Yeah.
And if you were starting again tomorrow, what are the things that you would do instead of, or things that you would skip that you wish you knew about?
I think I would have come on full-time a lot sooner. It's a struggle, if you're single living in an expensive city, you need to pull an income. It's just not rocket science. And I don't think living on the streets is success for a startup model. So, but I probably would have tried to hustle and somehow gotten on full-time a lot sooner. But other than that, that was it. I mean, we found our co-founders pretty quickly. We acted really quickly on getting to make sure that everyone was in agreement and where we're going. Just speed on getting full-time, I think, is the biggest learning. Yeah.
Awesome. That's exciting. Yeah. And so what's next for you guys and Buddee.Fitness?
Yes, what's coming? 2019 is a big year. I'm already living in 2019 in my head.
We're not there yet.
I know. So yeah, what's next? We're just trying to get more and more clients on the platform. Booking sessions is a key one, and talking to people. If they are able to get in touch with us, we really want that actual voice time with them. Scaling out to new cities is a big one. So we're pushing right now for Sydney area, Northern Beaches. And then in the new year, we want to hit, obviously, Melbourne, and we'll do a couple cities in Queensland as well. Yeah. And then look to take the model overseas. Once we sort of have that proof that we've got a market fit and people are using it, we do want to offer it elsewhere because it's a platform that I think is beneficial to a lot of other places.
Definitely. And is there any particular direction that you would look to go to, US, UK, etc., or is it all still up in the air at this point?
Yeah, I think, the easiest, lowest hanging fruit are other countries that speak English, just to avoid those barriers, of course, off the bat. So, UK, I'm Canadian, so that'll be inevitable at some stage. The US definitely is on the maps, and my co-founder's New Zealand. I think that might just happen sooner than later. Just to,
it's like another state, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's included. No.
Cool. And the question I ask everyone is, if you could have a superpower, what would it be and why? Yes, is the tough one. The real hard-hitting question.
I know. I know that if I could turn into a whale.
A whale? Why a whale?
Yeah. Because it's similar to I always ask people if they'd want to be either an eagle or a whale, what would they be? Yeah. And I think the answer is obvious. People say eagle and I don't get that. I say whale because
water. Yeah.
You just enter a different world, and whales can go places humans have never been before. And I just think that is amazing. So if I could just be a whale for a few days a week and explore. And whales have more emotions than humans, which could be dangerous.
Or emotions?
Emotions. Probably really? Emotions too.
Well, I was like, what?
Yeah.
They have more emotion. Well, definitely more than me, but I'm sure more than
Yeah. So I think that would be really good intellect to bring back into the human.
Definitely. That's interesting, because I've now learned something very different. So thank you very much.
There you go.
I was going to say, you can't say superhuman strength because you've already got that.
So my co-founder's 5-year-old is putting me to the test on that one. She's in gymnastics now.
Oh, no way. Handstand competition all the way.
I know. I need to pick up my game on that now.
And if anyone wants to support Buddee.Fitness, where do they need to go?
Go to help@Buddee.Fitness. That will come to me, or you can just reach me directly. Happy to give my mobile. Can I do that here?
Yeah, it'll get typed up in our transcript, so go for it.
0418-962-213. And that's my mobile, not our customer service line. So get in touch, use the app, give us your feedback, share it with your friends. I'm on the app as well as a trainer. So if you want to have a handstand competition, let's do it. Let's do lunges all the way down Bondi Beach. And also we're heading to the US in December and early January. Right. So any networks you have out there, I'd love to chat and just get some relationships built.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Jen.
We can click pause now.